It's the Pete Sousa Show. Sports, Pete.
Nobody tells our stories better than our clients.
The difference is stark. I was rear-ended at a stop. I thought I was fine, and then once I got home, I realized it's a lot worse than I thought. I ended up having a ruptured disc. You say you're not hurting, and then an hour later, you're saying you're in all this pain. I just felt like most people would think that I was lying. And that's when I decided to call Daniel Stark. I owe a lot to Daniel Stark. They really got me what I deserved.
The difference is stark.
We definitely love our relationship and love Extraco. It's been an amazing experience.
They made the PPP process easier. They were reaching out to me saying, what can I do to help you? That made a huge difference because my stress level, when we shut down, to afterwards was night and day.
Our experience with Extraco has been phenomenal since the very beginning, so we love Extraco.
Tervis is all about staying hydrated with style and durability. You can trust Tervis tumblers to keep your drinks the perfect temperature, hot or cold, for hours. From the classic insulated tumblers to sleek stainless steel water bottles, each product is built to last and comes in endless designs to match your personality. Stay refreshed and express yourself with Tervis. Visit tervis.com today and find your perfect tumbler.
Since our founding, we've been revolutionizing hair removal with cutting-edge technology and a commitment to empowerment. The U-Like Air 3, launched in 2023, ushers in a new era of sapphire ice cooling technology, offering nearly painless hair reduction in just 3 weeks. Experience the future of hair removal today at ulike.com, because at Ulike, beauty is about looking and feeling good. That's ulike.com. Ulike. With Ease US, make studio quality voiceovers for your videos online in over 149 languages and dialects, featuring 468 natural AI voices. Customize the volume, mood, and pauses to perfectly match your content. Plus, capture high quality videos with no watermark. Record your screen, webcam, and voice, and save them instantly to your computer. Never been easier to create professional grade videos and voiceovers. Try it today at easeus.com. That's EASEUS.com. Ease US.
Just use AMP-Pace.
AMP-Pace.
It is the Pete Sousa Show. How you doing, everybody? Thank you for joining us. That was a very official introduction. I think it's because I'm out of pocket today. We are live from Houston, ahead of Houston SFA, calling that game tomorrow night. Very excited, getting to some coaches' meetings today. Talk with Willie Fritz and the coordinators Slade Nagel and Austin Armstrong from Houston, and to get set to do that, and certainly pumped. And of course, pumped that Slovacics makes this possible for us. And Crawford Austin Properties, of course, First National Bank of Central Texas, Daniel Stark Injury Lawyers, and Socorro Family Ford. And guess who else is making it happen for us this morning? You don't make Craig wait. You don't. All right, from 1300 The Zone, every day from 2 to 5. There he is right there, Longhorn legend. That's Austin Sports Radio. You can catch the show, and of course, you've caught him before. You know exactly who he is. Big call coming up this Saturday. Craig, what's up, man?
You know, all of that goes by when you mention Slovacics, because right now I am craving a blueberry cream cheese kolache. I just got to tell you, I love me some Slovacic. So it was hard to clear that from my mind, Pete, but I'm ready to go, and good to see you again.
They are our presenting sponsor. Next time we get together, we'll have to get some Slovacics there. It's great to see you too, Craig. There's so much happening now, and I won't keep you long. First thing, any big concerts over the summer for you? I know you're a music guy. Did you go see any live music that you really enjoyed?
You know, the last one I think I saw, my wife, Linda, and I are big yacht rock fans. So,
Me too. That's
so
why I asked. I love it.
yeah, yeah. And so we've seen quite a bit over the past several months. We've seen Doobie Brothers and Little River Band, and I'm trying to think what else we saw. Oh yeah, for you who really want to wade deep into the yacht rock, we went up to Arlington and saw in the small venue Ambrosia and John Ford. Yeah, with John Ford Coley. Now, England Dan is no longer with us, but John Ford Coley's there. He's a Dallas native, and we actually visited with him after the show. And so we've tried to keep up with a lot of that, and we are going. I've got a. I'll just leave it at this and say it's a milestone birthday coming up next month. So we're going to go out to Las Vegas and see Ringo Starr in his residency there at the Venetian. So we're looking forward to that.
It Don't Come Easy is probably one of my that's always been like a song that's like whenever I get down or things are going rough, I always remember that. Like, don't come
Great
easy.
Point. Great point. Yeah.
All right, it's not going to come easy for Texas this year. You have seen a lot of Texas football, right? The anticipation level this year has to be second to none. But I ask you, we're talking about the Colt McCoy era, the Vince Young era. Like, for your window of time, can you compare this to another level of excitement? Where does it stand going into this year when you look at some of the other big time years?
Well, let me put it to you this way, Pete. This is this Saturday's game in Columbus against Ohio State will be the start of my 38th year on the network, my 25th season in the play-by-play chair. And I can tell you honestly, I've never seen and heard an anticipation and excitement level surrounding the start of a college football season in Austin, Texas, like this one. Now, there's always excitement every year, certainly when a season begins, and Longhorn fans certainly have always embraced their team and have been through some great times and some hard luck times as well. But I think this year, with the fact that they are coming off back-to-back trips to the college football playoff, and the fact that they are, for the first time in school history, preseason number one to start the year. They've never been number one in the country to start the year. And then obviously when the added excitement and anticipation with the new guy taking the snaps at quarterback, all of that I think adds up to this being the most excited and most anticipated season for Longhorn fans.
Before we get to the new guy, right, I want to ask about Sark. He's one of my favorite coaches in college football, probably just one of my favorite coaches for what he's professionally done, personally done. How have you seen him grow as a coach since his time on campus in Austin? Because by all accounts, he's doing a phenomenal job, and he has done a wonderful job, I think, from 30,000 feet of just staying the course and staying focused. Because as you know, there's a lot of noise in Austin, man. There's a lot going on that can throw you off course.
Yeah, I think that he has, to your point, stayed the course. When he came in at the start of 2021, he had a plan, he had a vision for what he wanted to do, but he also knew it was going to take time. He also knew it was going to take a real steady and pretty direct upgrading of talent. So he and among others, Kyle Flood, his co-offensive coordinator, the O-line coach, who was with him in Alabama, and they've been together a long time. They were together on the Atlanta Falcons staff. They've been together a long time. They kind of were popularizing the phrase in these parts about getting big humans, and they did on both sides of the ball. And so it's been a steady rise. Yes, when they were 13-12 after the first two seasons, folks were kind of going, wait a minute, what's going on? They've been 25-5 the last 2 years, and the only team to make it to the college football playoff in back-to-back years the past two seasons. So with that in mind, what do you do for the next step? Well, they got a plan and a vision for that as well, and they do want to take it beyond reaching the semifinal round and getting close in the semifinal round, but not getting beyond it and getting to where they can play for a national championship. And I think that's the focus and the direction of this program now.
It seems like Arch Manning is just a natural born leader, and it's more than likely in his DNA because we know a lot about his DNA. What's the most impressive thing you've seen from him as a leader? Being a young man leading guys that are older than him or maybe have more experience, what's the most impressive thing that you've seen with your front row seat?
I think it's his demeanor. He's very calm and relaxed and affable and those kinds of things. Now, he's a competitor, and I've seen him, have some let's just say competitive conversations with some guys on the defensive side. Some people like to refer to a little bit as trash talking or whatever. Like he and the preseason All-American safety Michael Taft, they'll joke with one another. But Arch is a competitor, and it looks like he's ready to go. Just watching him in practice and in scrimmages, he looks like he's ready to go. But he does have command of the offense, and I think he has command of the huddle and of his teammates around him to address your question. They respect him, they like him, and he's otherwise a pretty relaxed and low-key guy. He would rather not have to see and deal with the spotlight that surrounds it, but he understands it. He gets it. And I also think this, Pete, I think his pedigree, his background, his upbringing has something to do with it as well. As Sark said in his news conference this week, Arch has been at Super Bowls. He has been at Yellow Jacket ceremonies there in Canton. So he understands the larger picture. Now he's thrust into the middle of it for the first time, but I think he's physically ready to go for that.
And Craig, I feel the same way about even a guy like Rocco Becht or Steph Curry or Patrick Mahomes. I just think being around it, being in the stadiums, being in the locker rooms, there's a different element there for some of these guys. And certainly that's an attribute he's taken advantage of. You've seen generational quarterbacks at Texas. What's the one characteristic that they have that allows them to be successful? If there's one thing you see that's common, not uncommon for us, but common for them on their runs.
It's a belief, a strong belief that they have that they can get it done. I mean, it goes back, I think back all the way back in my time of working on the Texas broadcast, seeing guys like Peter Gardere in the early 90s at quarterback. And then after that, James Brown having the moxie and the confidence to go in and shock Nebraska in the first ever Big 12 championship game. Major Applewhite had that. You just kind of saw that in those guys early on. And then it went from there, Chris Sims, and then, of course, Vince Young exuding as much confidence as anybody. And I think Colt McCoy learned an awful lot about that, redshirting in that national championship year 20 years ago of 2005, and seeing how Vince integrated himself with the team and the offense. And Colt had that same kind of confidence. I saw Sam Ehlinger have that same kind of confidence there, and Quinn Ewers. And now I think we're seeing it from Arch Manning. Certainly, time will tell, and the results on the field will bear a lot of that out. But I think it's an inner belief and trusting and having their own self-confidence that they can get the job done. That's the one common thread I think I've seen over the past nearly 40 years.
You mentioned Quinn Ewers. Why do you think that Sark didn't go with Arch last year and stuck with Quinn? Was that a loyalty thing, a locker room thing? Because folks like me, everybody was curious.
Quinn gave him the best chance to win last year. Arch, by his own measure, said, yeah, it was tough to sit and watch, but by his own admission, probably wasn't completely ready for everything. We saw him start a couple of games, and he had some high play moments and things like that. But when Quinn Ewers was healthy, and he had to battle injuries a lot, but when he was out there and was healthy, he put them in the best chance to win. We think about a lot of legacy plays for guys. Certainly for Vince Young, it's the 4th and 5 run against USC in the Rose Bowl. Colt McCoy had a great touchdown run in the Fiesta Bowl to beat Ohio State, and really for Quinn Ewers, it's got to be the 4th and 13 play in the Peach Bowl down to their last shot against Arizona State and dropping that ball right into Matthew Golden in for the game tying touchdown to get it into the second overtime. I think it was all of those things, his experience, his confidence, and his track record that kept Quinn in the starting job, certainly when he was healthy.
All right, a couple more for you. I know you got to go. You got a busy day. When you look at the roster, right? The roster, we talk a lot about quarterbacks and skill guys. Who are we not talking about this year that will impact the Longhorns, like an X factor?
Well, on the offensive side, I'm really curious to see how the running game develops. C.J. Baxter had an outstanding freshman year, but then, of course, suffered a knee injury in fall camp workouts last year, was out all of last year. We saw Quintravian Wisner rush for over 1,000 yards, the only man in the SEC to do that. So Trey Wisner is back, and I think those two guys give them a 1-2 punch. Also in the receiving end, even though they lost a guy like Matthew Golden, since they lost guys to the NFL and lost an outstanding tight end in Gunnar Helm, who's with the Tennessee Titans. They picked up a tight end through the portal and Jack Endries, transferring in from Cal, and he's on the preseason award watches for the Mackey Award and the Biletnikoff Award even. And then on the defensive side, they do have 3 preseason All-Americans. Colin Simmons, the edge rusher, who comes off a fabulous freshman campaign. Anthony Hill has been a leader in the linebacking core. And then I mentioned Michael Taft in the secondary. So they anchor. They're kind of the central nervous system of that defense, but there are other guys that are ready to make plays for this team.
Simmons had a great spot on your show yesterday. I'd encourage anybody to go check that out. 1300 The Zone, Austin Sports Radio. Last question. You're back on the road. Is there something about, because you spend a lot of time on the road, right? And that can be hard sometimes. Is there a silver lining outside of, you love what you do, about going back on the road for you? Is there a process that you enjoy? Is there a special aspect of the camaraderie? What speaks to you about all the travel you do, and it's about to start up again?
I think it's an amalgamation of several of the things you just talked about. You like going to different places, certainly. The last time I was in Columbus was 20 years ago, that epic 2005 game that Texas won 25-22 that kind of launched their big push toward the eventual national title. It's getting to work in different venues, the Horseshoe at Ohio State is special. And then, you and I have gotten to know each other over the years, and it's the same thing with other broadcasters, getting that communal feel and getting a chance to visit folks. Paul Keels, the voice of the Buckeyes, is a longtime friend, and it'll be good to see him again. And it'll be like that throughout the course of the season. I miss some of my broadcasting buddies in the Big 12 conference.
I was about to say, yeah.
I've made new friends in the SEC, and listen, we're all cut from that same cloth, Pete. We all kind of are one collective group, and we kind of cling to one another, and we help one another out, and it's also a great deal of fun, and that's part of what I like when I do go on the road.
Craig, you've always been generous with me. You're generous with your time again today. We learn from you. We enjoy you. Thank you very much, man. Have a great call, dude. Enjoy it, and I'm sure I'll see you somewhere down the line this season.
You know what? You will, Pete. And I'll tell you this. I mean, I think you're in for a lot of fun on Saturday. I think Willie Fritz may have a dark horse team for the Big 12. And then, obviously, Stephen F. Austin's going to be one of the better FCS teams in the country this year. They're nationally ranked. So I know you'll have a lot of fun with that one.
Let's go. You got me ready. All right, Craig. Take care, man. Have a great one Saturday. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Pete.
Oh, the great Craig Way, man. That is awesome to catch up with a legend like that. That's the kind of guy I listened to for so long before I actually had a chance to meet him. And then meeting him, it's one of those deals where, man, this guy's just as cool as I had hoped he would be. So really awesome to share some time with him. And when you forget sometimes the catalog and the wealth of knowledge and information someone like that is carrying around with them, right? Good stuff. Check him out. Make sure. I always do this with Big 12 broadcasters I like, and I do it with Craig. This is I just listen to Sirius. You can get on Sirius, dude, and just pick, Texas play-by-play. And boom, there it is. You can be listening to Craig Way. Great stuff from Craig. We're coming back with some Big 12 guys who I talked to Todd McShay yesterday when we were rapping about the Big 12 and possible NFL prospects. And I got some for you. Not Todd's. They're mine. By the way, housekeeping is trying to get in. Just so you guys know, check this out. There she is. So I brought Sadie with me because it's a road trip. We're not getting any younger, are we, Sadie? No. And so she's much chiller on the road. and I could drive, but I didn't have to fly. And the people here are super sweet. We're at the Four Seasons. Don't tell anybody. They let me in. Pete Sousa Show, presented by Slovacek's, back after this.
Dive into adventure with scuba.com, your ultimate destination for top-tier scuba and snorkeling gear. With over 20 years of experience, our expert staff, who've dived everywhere from the Galapagos to the Maldives, provides personalized advice to help you find the perfect gear for any underwater journey. Shop leading brands like GoPro, Aqualung, and Scuba Pro. Whether you're a beginner or a pro, trust scuba.com for the best in diving equipment and expert guidance. Explore now at scuba.com. That's SCUBA.com. Scuba.com. At Fullwell, we bring together the expertise of registered dietitians, MDs, and OBGYNs to give you the best fertility support. Our research-backed bioavailable formulas are crafted with your health in mind, ensuring the highest quality and safety. From preconception to pregnancy and beyond, we exceed industry standards with independent testing for harmful contaminants. With our comprehensive practitioner directory, personalized care is always within reach. Fullwell, your trusted partner on your fertility journey. Visit us at fullwellfertility.com. Experience the perfect blend of exquisite craftsmanship and life-changing technology with Gevi. Every product is built with precision, featuring specialized parts that ensure durability, efficiency, and safety. We put every machine through 6,000 rigorous tests to guarantee long-lasting performance. With cutting-edge technology and a commitment to energy efficiency, Gevi makes your life easier, greener, and more convenient. Upgrade your everyday with Gevi. Visit us at gevi.com to discover more. That's gevi.com.
With San, owning iconic furniture no longer requires paying a premium. We use the finest materials like Italian top-grain leather, known for its durability and luxurious feel, and apply meticulous attention to detail in every piece we create. Our replicas are crafted with the same care and precision as the originals, but at a price that makes them accessible. With over 15,000 satisfied customers worldwide, we've proven that high-quality furniture doesn't have to come with a high price tag. Explore our collection today at san.com.
At Covers & All, we've revolutionized protective solutions with cutting-edge, customizable covers, tarps, and curtains. Using advanced tech fabrics that are 100% waterproof, UV tear, and abrasion resistant, we ensure lasting durability with hand-sewn double-stitch seams. Our commitment to quality, precision engineering, and customizable options is unmatched. With vertically integrated operations and express shipping, we deliver premier protection at affordable prices. Visit coversandall.com today for the perfect fit, guaranteed to last.
At Open Goal USA, we're revolutionizing training for both soccer and lacrosse with our innovative portable rebounders. Perfect for players of all ages and skill levels, our rebounders improve accuracy, control, and technique in both sports. Built with premium materials for durability and ease of use, they're ideal for training anywhere, anytime. Whether you're perfecting your soccer game or sharpening your lacrosse skills, Open Goal USA has you covered. Visit OpenGoAAALusa.com and elevate your training today.
Relax with Hemp Delicious. Organically grown hemp, massively blended with delicious organic herbs, responsibly sourced for their holistic benefits. Each sip offers calming, antioxidant-rich wellness. Brewed just for you. Sip the calm with Hemp Delicious. Find your blend at hempdelicious.com.
Introducing Muck-Off's classic pink bike cleaner, powered by revolutionary nanotechnology that breaks down dirt and grime on a microscopic level while protecting your bike's delicate finish. Developed by our mad developer Alex and tested by riders, our products are made by riders for riders. Discover more at us.muc-off.com, where we break the mold to bring you the best in bike care.
Get paid faster with Bill, the easiest way to send, receive, and manage your payments. No more delays, no more hassle. Whether you're a freelancer or a business, Bill makes payments seamless and secure, simple, fast, and reliable. Sign up today at Bill.com.
Pete Sousa Show. We are on the road in Houston. Scotty B, the Baylor King, is just chilling. I would imagine this is probably one of the last days that Scotty B, the Baylor King, will be just chilling. I mean, this is it. And Scotty B, I want you to hang in there because I do want to bring up something I saw on the old Twitter this morning. They call it X. I still call it Twitter just because I'm old. Let me read it for you. I sent it to old Swingler, and he was not happy. He just wasn't happy. And I have a lot of texts with Scotty, so I can just pull it right up. We go back and forth a lot. He said he needed some Grace this morning, and I sent him a picture of Grace Kelly. Stick it up his rear, right? Look at Sadie's getting some water. That's good. Okay, this is from an account on X. Oh shit, there he is. I didn't think he was going to get on. This is from an account on X. It's called The Real Stuntman John. Scotty, stick around. I want to get your opinion on this. I know you got a million things to do, but let's just stay locked in. Give me like 5 minutes. All right. So here's the tweet. By the way, it has 30,000 views. And it says, Auburn fans have now bought 36,000 tickets for Baylor. Tickets are still available. Now, I will say this. I went online yesterday. My buddy Taina. By the way, Taina is such a trip. She puts on Facebook, is anybody selling tickets to the Baylor game? I'm calling her out on this. I'm like, dude, like, go on SeatGeek. Like, why are you going on Facebook? Go ahead.
Vivid Seats.
Vivid Seats, you said.
That's my site. They've always got the best deals on stuff, I think, compared to the other sites.
Well, and not Vivid Video, Vivid Seats, by the way.
Vivid Seats.
So I was like, Tanya, just go on SeatGeek. So then I went on SeatGeek and I saw, dude, they try to give you the impression that everything's going like hotcakes, but there were plenty of tickets left. If you needed a ticket for Friday night's game, you could get one. And it's not like it'll cost you an arm and a leg. Which brings me to, is the real stuntman John, who is he's like an Auburn guy. Is he for real? What do you think about this, Scotty? Scotty, I want to hear you dispute this.
One, you have no idea who's buying tickets from these third-party sites. You know how many you've sold of your allocated. So I just can't even. I've tried to think of how he might know that there's that many Auburn fans specifically who've bought these tickets, and there's just no way to know that. It's purely conjecture. So that's just fundamentally your statistic is not knowable. But two, I just don't buy it. I don't buy it. Listen, I was very loud when we announced the gold helmets here on your show that Baylor fans need to not be lame and show up in numbers and wear black and be loud. And I mean, I meant it. And I expect quite a few Auburn fans in the stadium. I expect they will travel well. But I don't expect 36,000 out of 45,000 seats, Pete, to be Auburn fans. Even at Baylor's worst, that stadium's half full of Baylor fans. There's 25,000 Baylor fans. So it's ridiculous. There's just no way. The factor I was thinking about is I do wonder how many Baylor families that would normally attend a Baylor game might Friday be night. Out because it's on a Friday night. Yeah. And maybe our Auburn opponents across the aisle would laugh at us for this. But the reality is in Texas, Friday night is just as important as Saturday, especially if you've got kids in a school district. And so, I mean, I could see it being a little tilted just for that, but 36,000 out of 45, give me a freaking break, dude. So I'm with Scotty. I'm with Scotty B. That's so fake news. And I'm with Bear the Truth.
Yeah.
That is an absolute load of crap. The tailgate is sold out. All spots on both sides of MLK spoken for. I've talked to a lot of people that are really excited about our tailgate show on Friday night from 4 to 7 at Brazos Parking. That have said they're coming. I think Auburn will have a significant presence. And by that, I mean, maybe it's 8 to 10,000 out of the 45. I could see that.
What if I told you that stuntman John from Auburn, what if that was David Kay working covertly to make sure that all the tickets were bought by Baylor fans now? That would be like a brilliant move.
If David Kay is that slick, I'm very impressed.
I think he's got way more going on right now than to worry about that. But I do think that even talking about this on this show, look, it bothers me reading that. I was like, yo, settle down, bro. Like that place is going to be packed. Like I do get a little frustrated at some of these. I've listened to some Auburn fan pods and just some Auburn podcasts, and guys like we had on yesterday, like Wayne Gandy and Cadillac Williams, like they're above the fray. But like you get in the weeds, they're like, yeah, we're going to show them about college football. We're going to show them what it's. We're going to buy all their tickets. We're going to come and take the place over. You know, it does feel kind of menacing, at least.
I'm not scared, dude.
All right.
I'm not scared in the least. By the way, I think when do you want to do official predictions for this game? I guess I'm not going to be with you tomorrow.
Do you want to do it now?
Yeah. Did you hear what I told Terrence?
All right, hold on. Should we do it now? Let's do it now.
I'm down.
All right.
Do you want to go? Well, you're going to do a segment on Green and Gold Game Day called Pete's Predictions. So,
am I?
Yeah, dude, that's your bit. I told you that a long time ago. It's fine. If you
What, am I going to give gambling advice? I'd like to keep my job here.
No, not gambling advice. Predictions about the game, Pete. Literally anything. Be creative about it. Have some fun with it. You know?
Okay, I will.
There will be a streaker on the field. Like that could be a Pete's prediction. Like you can literally predict anything. But
Scotty, I can't wait.
I'll go first. Okay.
Okay.
I'll stick with what I said on Please Bear With Me. And I retweeted a guy the other day that said, this is the one college football game that nothing would surprise me. A Baylor blowout wouldn't surprise me. An Auburn blowout wouldn't surprise me. A really close game wouldn't surprise me. 3 overtimes wouldn't surprise me. Shootout wouldn't surprise me. Defensive battle wouldn't surprise me. Nothing would surprise me. I don't know what's going to happen. Because of that, I say it's close. Very close. I think Baylor gets it done. I think home field does help. I don't think the stadium's going to get taken over by Tigers fans. I think in a tight game, you've heard me say this before, I'll take the coach I trust and I'll take the quarterback I trust. And especially with that second one with the quarterback, if this comes down to it one score, whether you need a score or you need to hold on to a one-score lead, I significantly trust Sawyer Robertson to take care of the football, make good decisions, and make a play more than I trust Jackson Arnold. And until I'm proven wrong, that's where I stand. 34-31, Baylor Bears.
Damn. So you got a close and high scoring.
Yeah. Yeah, I understand why people think this could be a defensive game, but honestly, Auburn's receivers will make plays against Baylor's secondary. I don't trust Jackson Arnold that much to always get the ball there, but dadgummit, dude, that receiver group is strong and Baylor's secondary is suspect. So they will score. They will score. And I just don't buy this narrative. I got a seat on the field that a 5-win SEC team, and until you win more, you're a 5-win team, dude. Shut up about how good you are.
Well, dude.
A 5-win SEC team, I don't care what conference you play in, your defense is not going to stop Bryce.
And I got news for you.
You are not going to stop Josh Cameron. You're not going to.
We were limited on time with Craig Way in segment 1. Hey, he was calling that game, Texas and Arizona State, right? Like, and Texas, like, had the ball had to bounce the right way for them to walk out of there.
And Texas had the best defense in the conference last year.
Yeah.
They had the best defense in the SEC last year, and Arizona State moved the ball. That's a terrific point. And we saw, as I talked with Gary Bohannon on my podcast, Baylor did it against Ole Miss in 2021. Oh, Baylor can't score on this team. Yes, Baylor scored in a pick 6 in that game, but so be it. They won by 2 touchdowns. Like, I expect Baylor's going to score. I mean, even we had Daryl Dapprich on my podcast, Auburn Insider, and he said this is the best offense Auburn will face this year. And so Auburn fans, yes, he said that. And now Daryl's a talking head. I mean, he was on my show. He could have been blowing us up a little bit, whatever. But I mean, it might be. It might be. I mean, they play Georgia, but like Baylor has proven playmakers, 4 or 5 offensive line returning, top 10 to 15 OC in the sport. Like, it's going to be a high scoring game. Yes. 34-31.
So you, by the way, that's 10 points above the over under. It's 57.5. So Scotty's saying hit the over. I like that because you're not like a gambling guy per se. Right. By the way, this is my favorite and I just might do this. I might bring her to the tailgate.
Do it, man.
Bear the Truth says it's good. Baylor will be able to score with Auburn. Okay. Here's my theory. I believe that Baylor will win the game and I think they're going to win by a lot. I think they're going to get up early. I think it's going to be. I think it will probably get ugly.
Come on, Pete.
I think.
Come on,
no,
Pete.
and this is just. I think there's way too many questions around Auburn. Like it's one of those deals. Like we're hearing that Jackson Arnold is gelling with the wide receivers. Then we're hearing that he might be splitting time with other quarterbacks. And we heard Cadillac Williams say that to us yesterday. So up your nose with the rubber hose to all the Auburn people who were telling us we were crazy a week and a half ago when we just reported what Hugh Freeze said. Cadillac, who was a head coach at Auburn, was on our show saying that they might play three quarterbacks. So chill, okay? Or he said they could. You know, he kind of was – he was open to it, Cadillac was. He didn't say we were crazy or Hugh Freeze was crazy. So I say all that to say there are so many questions around Auburn, and there are so many answers around Baylor. We know Sawyer Robertson. We know Bryson Washington. Dude, NFL scouts are over the moon about those two guys, okay? We got Ashton Hawkins back. Like, this, the offensive line returns 4 or 5 starters. Like, Auburn fans. I really think that. I think.
Well, and listen. I understand the physical argument and the stars argument. Like Auburn physically, athletically, I'm not going to say we'll completely outmatch Baylor because I think that's way overblown. But we'll push Baylor. There will be. I mean, Keldrick Falk will get off the edge and scare Sawyer Robertson. Like it will happen a couple of times in that game. You know, there will be a couple plays where that defensive.
That's not Lawrence Taylor, and you can scheme to help out guys in pass blocking.
I'm just saying, just to push back on you a little bit, and I would love it. I would love nothing. In fact, I said today I would love it if this game Friday is like the national championship in basketball in 2021, where you know it's over 6 minutes into the game. I would love that. But Auburn is going to make some plays. Like I don't think it's going to be this curb stomping, but I do think like. I agree with you. I don't understand this arrogance of like, why are there questions about our team? It's like, bro, you won 5, 6, and 5 games the last 3 seasons. Like, and Baylor, but I know Baylor has, if we're talking about proving it, 8 wins last year for Baylor in the Big 12 isn't like a huge bar to like brag about, but 6 of 7 to close your year. And again, the returning players, I reminded folks on Zach Owens show this morning. This is the first time Dave Aranda's had the same play callers on both sides of the ball in consecutive years.
Yeah. That's a big deal, dude. That's
for Dave Aranda, but the consistency is going to be tremendous. Like, so and I am interested, Pete. It may come down to what Dave said in the press conference. Someone's going to lose this game before they win it. Man, let me tell you what would turn this game around to a blowout quickly. And I saw it happen to Baylor in 2013 when we traveled to Stillwater, undefeated, ranked number 3 in the country, ready to go to a national championship. Bryce Petty on a wide open run trips on the 10-yard line for no reason, collapses at the 1. I look at my buddies who I'm sitting with at that game and said, well, we'll hand it to Shock Linwood. Next play, we're fine. Next play, Shock Linwood fumbles the ball. Oklahoma State runs it back 100 yards for a defensive touchdown, and Baylor never got back into that game. That was early in the ball game. If Jackson Arnold throws a pick 6, strip sack, I could see something like that happening in the first quarter, and that momentum swings to Baylor early. I could see it going the way you described.
Look, and it's got to happen early to what you said. Like there has to be, like, Baylor's got to come out and hit them right in the mouth, and the crowd gets behind you, and maybe you get a few turnovers. I'm not, if Baylor, even if they drag them into halftime ahead, like, I think it'll be the type of affair you say. But I do think that there is a possibility, I don't want to call it strong because that would be foolish, that Baylor can get out early and just completely obliterate Auburn.
Let me add one more thing to that. And I know we've got some other topics and stuff, but one of my criticisms of Dave Aranda as opposed to Matt Rule, and it's just a 1-to-1 comparison that I've noticed. Matt Rule's teams, despite being probably not living up to their potential all the time, always came out and looked like they were ready to hit people in the face and play football.
Dave's team starts slow. That's a great call.
Dave's teams, there have been multiple games, and it's almost always against rivals too. It's like when Texas was still in the conference, against Texas, regularly against TCU, games that you would think, oh crap, players are going to get up for this. There have tended to be in Dave's tenure slow starts. Cannot do that Friday night. And so I actually think that will be a positive sign of Dave's continued growth as a head coach. If Baylor can come out and look not just competent, but like, we're going to hit Auburn in the face. We're going to take some deep shots early. We're going to make plays out the gate. We're not going to wait to settle into this ball game. If you do that, you lose. Sorry. Like, you do that, you lose, I think. So I hope it happens, because that would speak positively about Dave Aranda's growth as a head coach as well.
So I got a positive and a negative before we go to break after that. One, I think that the reason those guys, those players you're talking about on those opposing teams, they got so hype to play Baylor was because they grew up watching the Bryles guys. And I think that for opponents, it was not hard to get up to play Baylor and really want to destroy them. Two, I have bad news. Garmin Randolph was waived, and so was Trevor Mai.
Oh man.
I thought if you had asked me to bet on it yesterday afternoon, I probably would have bet he was going to make it. Like, I would have taken some kind of odds, like 3-4 to 1, but I would have taken it.
But Tyquan Thornton, comeback kid, made the Kansas City Chiefs 53. By the way, if there's any way to resurrect your career as a 4-2 wide receiver in the NFL, get open a couple times for Pat Mahomes deep. Bro, that might be – I'm not playing fantasy football this year, actually. But if I was, I would take Thornton in a late-round flyer, because if he gets on the same page as Mahomes early, that could totally –
What's he been doing? What's he been doing?
Thornton? We'll talk to your friend Cam Stewart, man. He got cut from the Patriots last year because he kept dropping balls. Like, I don't want to be overly critical of the guy. He's a good player, but had a couple drops, wasn't producing. I mean, he was a high, second round draft pick for the Patriots, I think, a couple years ago. So he was struggled. I think he went to another camp late last year and got cut. And the Chiefs, I think the Chiefs like the Baylor guys because the reputation for Baylor receivers is like athletic, fast. They had Corey Coleman on their practice squad last year, and that guy hasn't really been on a roster in 3-4 years, but I think they were just giving him a look. So I love that they gave Tyquan a look, and he freaking earned it, man. He earned it.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
So we'll have to wait to see where Garmin ends up in All Pro. All right, the Pete Sousa Show is coming back. On the flip side, sorry, guys. We are going to discuss, as we are in downtown Houston. Where's the dog? She's in another room. I'm here for Houston, Stephen F. Austin. We'll be talking to Willie Fritz and the gang coming up in a few hours this afternoon. But I even get a little anxious talking about that. I'm pumped for this game, but there's always a lot going on with that stuff. So when we come back, we're going to talk about, and I have good information on this, the top 5 NFL prospects playing in the Big 12 this year, football-wise. And we're also going to take a quick peek at the Micah stuff if we have time. I'm starting to really get bad vibes about that. If I'm a Cowboys fan, just like it seems super weird. Jerry's really, really on one, as the kids would say. Back after this, Pete Sousa presented by Slovakics.
Nobody tells our stories better than our clients.
The difference is stark. I was rear-ended at a stop. I thought I was fine, and then once I got home, I realized it's a lot worse than I thought. I ended up having a ruptured disc. You say you're not hurting, and then an hour later, you're saying you're in all this pain. I just felt like most people would think that I was lying. That's when I decided to call Daniel Stark. I owe a lot to Daniel Stark. They really got me what I deserved.
The difference is stark.
We definitely love our relationship and love Extraco. It's been an amazing experience.
They made the PPP process easier. They were reaching out to me saying, what can I do to help you? That made a huge difference because my stress level, when we shut down to afterwards, was night and day.
Our experience with Extraco has been phenomenal since the very beginning. So we love Extraco.
I don't know, if Bubble wasn't here, I don't know what people would be doing, like making PowerPoints or something. Bubble allows you to make it real and for it to actually work. So I feel like Bubble bridges that gap and being able to give people the opportunity to make their ideas come to life really quickly too. I love that I can sit down and build something the way that I think it should be built and have the control over it.
Bubble turns ideas into fully scalable apps. Try Bubble today.
Hi, I'm Jo from Face Theory. You're going to want to have a specific goal for your skincare routine. What do you want to achieve? Active ingredients are really strong, and if you're using too many at once, your skin can get overwhelmed. Don't overspend on products. Choose products that have scientific research behind them. At Face Theory, if you're not happy with a product, just say so, just give us a shout and we'll give you your money back, no problem.
I know you're gonna love this Kodak Dot Plus printer. You guys just connect it to your smartphone and then you're gonna use the Kodak Photo Print app. It's going to print you a 4x6 photo. I am just in awe. I love how these turned out. Also, the printer comes with a free cartridge of 10 photo sheets. I can assure you, you are going to love this printer as much as my family has. You guys have to check it out for yourself.
Streamline event and appointment booking with Amelia's sleek, modern, and fully customizable booking forms. Tailor the colors, fonts, and design to match your brand and seamlessly integrate with your WordPress website. Whether it's for events or appointments, Amelia makes booking simple, stylish, and perfectly aligned with your business. Enhance your booking experience today at WPAmelia.com. That's WPAMELIA.com. Amelia.
When you learn a language with Babbel, you start a journey that takes you further and further. Anytime and anywhere you wish. It's easy and fun. Broadens your horizons and keeps your brain fit. A journey into new thoughts, new cultures, new adventures. So what are you waiting for? Start your journey with Babbel now. Go to babbel.com or download the app.
BadCreditLoans.com is a pioneering service provider that has carved a reputation in the financial industry for its dedication to helping individuals with bad credit secure loans. By making timely repayments, borrowers can gradually repair their credit history, thereby increasing their chances of securing better loan terms in the future. BadCreditLoans.com serves as a beacon of hope for those with bad credit. Simple, fast, and reliable loan application process. And its commitment to responsible borrowing makes it a trusted partner in the journey towards financial stability.
It is the Pete Sousa Show. Nothing like when somebody kind of like, you know, on social media gets kind of personal, but like not really. Like, there's a post from, I'm not going to mention who. You can knock me down, but you'll get knocked out on my way back up. Please message me from my new phone number. What's that mean? The Pete Sousa Show, we are back. We are presented by Savachix. That could be a segment in itself. Ambiguous, passive-aggressive, emotional texts from social media connections. God, I don't know if I've ever done that. I'm sure I have. Those are always kind of ugly. I got to tell you, this is just a thought. I'm talking to one of my buddies, and he's having, you know, some stuff with his kid. His son is just a maniac, kind of like I was, like my buddy was. And, you know, all this stuff now, these maniacs, and we've talked about this, are being captured on social media. And it's like, I don't know how that goes. Like, I don't know what that looks like. Like, you know, like, I just can't imagine, like, my father, right, who was a pretty stoic guy, like, you know, like going on his Instagram when I was like 17 and seeing like that he was posting a bunch of emotional shit when he was like 28 or 30. I think I'd be like, or if he was at a gentleman's club, or like, you know, just like pictures, like, you know, my parents were certainly flawed, but like, I didn't have to like, I didn't need any more illustration. Like, it was good enough just like living it out. That would have been a real wild ride, right? Like, I never walked through the living room and my dad was like going through TikTok and like different like ding 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 while he's watching like some maybe somebody's trying on an outfit or something. It's just like thank God, dude. So the exposure that some of these kids are having, it will make sense that they might have a little trouble. All right, the Pete Sousa Show, presented by Slovatrics, Crawford Austin Properties, Daniel Stark Injury Lawyers, First National Bank of Central Texas. Dude, we're doing our segment with Dan Ingham. I proposed the time for him, and we're probably going to try to do it next Wednesday. The show, our show, the Pete Sousa Show, is going to 90 minutes. And that's pretty awesome. So it gives us a little bit more wiggle room because, as you've seen, we've had like an influx of guests, thanks to Scotty, thanks to Chris Visser. And, so we need a little bit more space for me to talk about social media do's and don'ts. Or maybe we don't, but that's what we got. But yeah, we're going to have Dan on, I think, next Wednesday or Thursday to do his pick segment, Take It to the Bank, First National Bank of Central Texas. I wanted to talk about yesterday, we on Inside the 12, which you can watch Thursday. And you can see it on True TV or HBO Max or Big 12 markets all over the country. And we had Todd McShay on, and obviously NFL draft analyst. And we want to talk to Todd about what's going on with the Big 12. We'll probably run that segment on our show Friday, so you can hear the whole thing. But it was really interesting, dude. Again, all aboard the hype train. My buddy Taylor McHarg, who I'm calling the game with tomorrow night, who's my co-host on Inside the 12. The game's tomorrow night, by the way. And Todd, they love Sawyer Robertson. I mean, and it's not just like those dudes that love him. It's like dudes that those dudes talk to in front offices love him. And as I was told by not only Todd and Taylor, we talk this year, there's so much excitement around like Big 12 quarterbacks. And there are, it really is crazy. Like Connor Wegman is a former 5-star guy, right? Began his career at A&M. He's from Cyprus here down the road. He's not even in the conversation this year at Houston among elite quarterbacks in the Big 12. Noah Fafita really isn't either. Brandon Sorsby gets left behind. But among that group, I sometimes think that Sawyer Robertson gets lost in the shuffle. And the confirmation that I'm right is because NFL scouts and guys like Todd McShay I'm not telling them and they're agreeing. They're telling me like I've never heard before. You got to remember, not everybody knows what you're up to all day long. McShay doesn't know that I'm like embedded with this whole Baylor situation, that I like am fond of the school and the athletic department. Like he knows I'm in Texas and I live in Central Texas, but he doesn't think I'm like a fanboy of Sawyer Robertson, which I kind of am. But that's cool to hear that. But I did want to go into my list. That's right, I just spilled. I do want to go into my list of best players in the Big 12 with NFL futures. Okay, number one guy. This is pretty much across the board. Spencer Fano. By the way, he is the right tackle on Utah. There's a left tackle whose name escapes me right now, who just might be actually the second best NFL prospect in the Big 12. I am going to be honest with you, where most people wouldn't be. I just didn't feel like putting another Utah lineman up top. And I'm actually not sure how to pronounce his name. So he's not on the list. I apologize. But he's right there. And they could be the first two guys taken. And number two for me is Sawyer Robertson. And what Sawyer has is a little bit of what Craig Way shared with us, okay? And I think we saw as Baylor gathered steam last year, and literally the ball began to bounce their way like it does when a team becomes greater than, right? Sawyer has that intangible. And it's not something that he can really tap into as a backup, right? Or as somebody who's going to see minimal time or segmented time. Like, you give Sawyer the keys, dude, and you say, this is yours. He has shown us exactly what he does at a very high level in the Big 12, and he does it really well. Now, when you talk about some of those intangibles, and then you talk about his physical prowess and the fact that, bottom line, this is a 4-star dude from West Texas playing quarterback. Like, they're just built different. He has shown us, like, he has everything that he will need to play at the next level and to play well. And again, that's not me talking. That's me agreeing with other people. Third guy, wild card, but not for much longer. McShay was talking about him yesterday. Dion has talked about him. I'm not sure how hands-on Dion is with, like, the defensive backs and guys who played his position. I'd imagine he would be, but I don't want to assume anything just because of, like, Dion's health and stuff. And I don't know. I just don't know how hands-on he is with those guys. And I'm not saying, like, I could be totally wrong, but, like, I don't assume that Dion's going to be watching film with DJ McKinney, which would be amazing and would certainly help his draft status. But DJ McKinney is the real deal. He's a big corner. You don't have to worry about 50-50 balls per se. Like, and he's physical and he has all the talent in the world. And apparently, from what I've been hearing, I love what I see watching him. From what I've been hearing is, like, he's starting to take his football IQ, his work ethic, and all the little things, the grit, are catching up to his natural ability. So he could be a total force. We mentioned the edge earlier when we were having our conversation about Auburn. It is the reason I put David Bailey there is because it is such a valued position in the NFL. And David Bailey is a guy of value. And I think that could be a real issue for Texas Tech defenses opposing offenses when they face Texas Tech this year. The guy's an absolute beast. Just talk to Shahan Jayaraja about him, and he'll tell you. And that's a guy I look to be like a top 5, could be rising up boards. And then you have Jordan Tyson, who I really, honestly, I put him there because everybody else has him at number 2. So I give credence to what other folks say. I don't like how he drops balls, but I didn't like how Tedder McMillan dropped balls, and he got taken in the first round. But I've always thought that's pretty important, your ability to catch the football if you're playing receiver. But Jordan Tyson has shown all kinds of other brilliance, and it will be interesting to see this year how he does the little things. Is he moving the chains for a team that will need him to without Cam Scatterbo anymore? There will be more pressure on that passing game. Now, I'm not saying that Arizona State won't do well this year because they got a lot of guys back on defense, and I think that is a hallmark of a team that can continue its tradition. I shouldn't say tradition, can continue its momentum into next season. But the McKinney one is the one I think everybody should look out for. I was talking to a football coach yesterday, and he talked about the fact when you can play man coverage, and by the way, look for this from Dave Aranda on Thursday night. When you can play man coverage, like when you're good enough to play man coverage, okay, you double the size of your defensive playbook. Now, the reason I bring that in for Dave and Baylor is that Baylor's corners may not be good enough for them to play a lot of man-to-man. But with the schematic changes, or I shouldn't say schematic changes, with the more schematic innovation by Dave Aranda coming into this year, we've read about it, we've heard about it, that he's doing different things with the defensive playbook, adding looks, adding a lot of stuff. I would imagine a lot of those involve man-to-man coverage, and Baylor won't be able to live in those looks. If Tevin Williams doesn't play big, I know Caden Jenkins is now not on the 2. He's on the 2 deep, but he's not starting. And that is worrisome for me as a Baylor fan, because you want to see the maturation of Caden Jenkins. This is a guy who was a freshman All-American, and he's sort of faded to the back. And here's one last thing I'll say before we wrap up today. When you see the two deeps, right? This is experience, and I want everybody to pay attention to this. Scotty, you too. When you see a two deep, a depth chart prior to the season, and you see things like single numbers across the country now, that's kind of a thing schools do, like single numbers to the guy on the team that is a leader, that's busting his ass, like, or a guy that's really good, like really, really good, and you kind of need him to get his shit together. So you'll give him a single number and be like, everybody, make sure this guy does what he's supposed to do. We need him to be that kind of leader. But then there's other guys, let's just say, and I have no inside information about this, but this is how this stuff goes. You know, Caden Jenkins could be an example. Like maybe he's not doing everything he needs to do, like off the field and around the game to make himself available to play. But when the season starts and he is needed, he will be called upon and have the opportunity to deliver the goods and cash in on some of that skill set he's shown us earlier in his career. It does not mean that all the time, but I do think there are some wild cards there. Like sometimes you're looking at it too deep now, or a depth chart as we get into week one, and you're like, wait a minute, how is that guy starting? And then you get two messages. Wow, he must be playing awesome in camp, and maybe he's a rocket ship, or actually maybe the guy behind him has literally handed him the job because he's not going to class or he's not whatever, you know? So all this is all fun. I love it. You love it. That's why we're here. But once the bullets start flying and we start playing, some of those questions, you know, i.e. Caden Jenkins not being a starter, maybe they get answered, right? We see it every single year. So maybe that's a possibility. We'll see it at Baylor this year, and maybe their cornerback room isn't as disappointing maybe as I feel it is now when I look at it on paper. You know, maybe Caden Jenkins is right there as far as the way he's playing, and maybe that gives you a nickel corner who's going to be great. We'll find out. We'll find out Thursday. Damn, it's coming. All right, the Pete Sousa Show. We will be back tomorrow, live again from Houston on game day. Yeah, man, we're rocking and rolling, guys. And so happy to be with you. And Slovacics, thank you so much. And everybody, by the way, like and subscribe. If you're watching on Twitter, there's a bunch of you out there. Sometimes we promote this stuff so we can get in front of you so you see it. If you like it, get on board. A lot of people have, and they keep coming back, dude. And we have, if you go to our videos page, there's a lot of real good segments there. Last week, we literally broke a story on this show, which I've never done, I don't think, in my life. When Steve Walsh talked about how he had been left out of the Cowboys documentary. We already knew that. We just didn't know in the fashion he had been. And we didn't know that he was kind of pissed about it. He told us that they brought him out there, interviewed him, and then never used it. And then yesterday, you know, we're talking to Cadillac Williams and Wayne Gandy. This morning, we're talking to Craig Way. A lot of good stuff's going on here. So a lot of reason to check in with us on the Pete Sousa Show. All right, I've talked long enough. Have a great day. Scotty, be good.
It's the Pete Sousa Show. Sports.
We definitely love our relationship and love Extraco. It's been an amazing experience.
They made the PPP process easier. They were reaching out to me saying, what can I do to help you? That made a huge difference because my stress level, when we shut down, to afterwards was night and day.
Our experience with Extraco has been phenomenal since the very beginning. So we love Extraco.
Nobody tells our stories better than our clients.
The difference is stark. I was rear-ended at 70 miles an hour. I was injured, had a concussion. The insurance company, they delayed. They were playing games from the initial conversation. They weren't going to help me. The biggest thing I learned through this is that you can't go through this alone. I called Daniel Stark. They were going to help me and everything was going to be all right. Daniel Stark got me 10 times the insurance company offered.
The difference is Stark.
We are Rogue Media Sports.